Hey friends, I've had music on my mind a lot lately. Last week I did my devotion on a spiritual practice called sacred imagination, and I got a comment back from that. Someone mentioning that as they were doing that practice, imagining themselves into a passage of scripture, that they actually found themselves taken out of scripture by some music that was playing in the background. And they found themselves remembering another place where they had been while they were listening to that music. It was kind of a funny turn of events. And that really struck me because I think I like most of you have music that I can think of right off the top of my head that transports me back to another time and place in my life. I think about a couple of those. One of them being the first time I listened to the first album from Mumford and Sons. I love the blend, especially in that first album of theirs that they have between kind of folk and rock and the acoustic instruments. And a good friend of mine in college had known about them before even that album came out. He was kind of the first person that I knew who knew anything about them. And I remember listening to that album in my dorm or sophomore year of college. And I remember being at my desk and looking out the window as the sun was setting over the campus at the University of Nebraska and taking in this music on a really, really pretty spring day. My window was open. The weather was perfect. I remember that vividly. Another one from college was I played in the symphony orchestra, and there's a piece I'm going to link to. I'm going to link to it down in the description of this video. But it was the Second Symphony of John Sibelius, and it has this very, very pastoral opening. Pastoral in the sense of like you feel like you're in the country. This very warm and flowing. This very melodic opening. It was the first piece I played my freshman year in that symphony orchestra in college. And the image that I have in my head from that is playing this piece over in my mind as we're going to and from rehearsal on the far side of campus. And of course, it's fall in the Midwest. The leaves are falling. The crisp air is hitting me as I walk across campus. And it's my first time away from home, right? This very transformational time in my life. And when I hear that opening sequence, I'm transported back there. All that is to say, I didn't think that was a very inappropriate way to interpret sacred imagination, because I think music, like other things in our lives, is a story we live into. And I've been noticing that especially as we've been worshiping from a distance. And as we've been doing daily devotions, and our music staff has been offering devotions as well, that I've found particular meaning in the reflections that have included music, in the hymns that we've been able to sing during the worship videos. And that's not a coincidence either, right? During seminary, our pastoral care professor, one of her areas of focus was studying how music can help people biologically, right? That is, we, especially people who are suffering from, her area of focus was people suffering from dementia, and how music can be a tool to trigger parts of our mind that otherwise wouldn't be touched, right? And I think it is very fair to say that God speaks to us in ways that we don't otherwise hear in the music we listen to. I know I've found myself in these last few weeks having moments of weariness that maybe hadn't been present in the opening weeks of quarantine, as we kind of transition to a new stage of the pandemic and our response to coronavirus. And I found a lot of meaning, a lot of joy in going back and listening to some music that I hadn't listened to before. Some of it sacred, some of it church music, and some of it just music that I've enjoyed at different points of my life. And so as my reflection today, I simply want to encourage you, whether it's church music, not church music, whatever it might be, to know that music gives us health, not only biologically, but that there is a spiritual health that it provides us that I think we would be remiss to ignore. So I'll invite you, if you would like, to listen to that opening part of the Sibelius Second Symphony, if that's your jam. If not, I would encourage you, take 15 minutes. Go onto YouTube or to wherever, whatever music service you might use, and turn some on and just sit and listen. And don't feel badly about using that as your prayer for today, as a form of its own spiritual practice. And definitely keep an eye open for the sorts of musical offerings that the staff from St. Barnabas continues to provide going forward. It is a gift that offers the sort of life that other gifts don't offer. Take care, y'all.